Welcome back to the Who's Yanks. We have another Who's Yanks. We're talking Canada soccer and U.S. soccer. Today we're going to be talking about the Canada versus Korea Republic women's national team friendly, tune-up game, preparation game, whatever you want to call it, before the all-important CONCACAF qualifiers tournament. Remember, this tournament is so important. Two tournaments is what you're qualifying for. You're qualifying for the 2023 World Cup next year, by the way, in Australia and New Zealand. And you're also qualifying for the 2024 Olympics in Paris. So, lots at stake here for this tournament in CONCACAF. So this is why this game against Korea was really important. And as a bonus, I probably forgot to tell you guys, or I told you guys later or earlier on, I should say, I did end up going to this game. I actually just got back and got some few surprises to share with you guys, including a video I just posted, including the game day experiences, live sights and sounds. A quick disclaimer: there is one segment of the video from, I believe it's like 10 seconds long, 23 seconds to like 35th second or whatever, and it is, YouTube did flag it for that little section for copyright because the song in there. So just FYI, that part might be muted when I selected when they alerted for the copyright. I selected to see if they can just mute the song and keep the background noise, and I think they're processing that now. And just FYI for whenever you guys check that video out, and if you're wondering, if you're watching it later on whenever the issue is resolved, then you know why there's no sound during that 10 seconds, and you know why. I also put it in the description too, so hopefully that'll clarify some stuff in there. But worst case scenario, if the whole video has to get taken down, then thankfully, maybe I might be able to just put the scraps together again and make a new one, just cut out that 10 seconds and just be a shorter video. But I don't think it'll be the end of the world if they take down the video and I have to make another one. But it would be annoying for sure, as I'm going to have to just make it again and make sure it's not copyright in any segment this time. So let's just see what YouTube does on that, what kind of action they take. But they did say it's not a strike, so thank goodness for that. It's just an attention, so hopefully they can just get that part muted and just the rest of the video is good to go. So we'll find out later on, a couple of days maybe, or however long it takes for YouTube to settle that. So just an FYI, I want to say, for that video is up and posted. I think it's still processing, which is why the high quality version is probably not out yet. But if it is, and if the segment has not been muted, then that's going to be interesting to see how YouTube takes that. But just an FYI. But yeah, I mean, before I get into the game with Korea, by the way, the game it ended 0-0, but we've got a lot of it actually to talk about for that. So my pre-game experience was really fun. On the ticket master, I got a notification that says, be there early. There's lots of festivities going on, which, hey, I mean, I figured out, why not take advantage of this, right? Especially because I don't know when this is all going to come back again. So especially when they're coming to Toronto here in BMO. So why not take advantage of it? And so I did. So I went down there about around 1 o'clock, and first thing I did is, you can see in this photo here, yes, this is Diana, sorry if I'm saying her name wrong, Diana Matheson. I don't know why I almost forgot. How could I forget? She's a Canadian icon. Diana Matheson. I mean, just remember that goal she scored against France to just at the death to send Canada through for a big 2012 Olympics. But Diana Matheson, here she is. I mean, here's a photo of her and that I was able to get, as well as even a few kind of photos. I'll post them here too. I got signed. So first thing she did was give me a signed photo, a signed autograph with her autograph on it and her picture. And then the next thing I was able to get was the rally towel. If you remember from one of the Canada qualifying games, she was able to get a signature on that. So two really good signatures, and I'm happy, and a quality photo too. So that's something worth framing or putting in a frame, with a signature autograph. So Diana Matheson, really, really grateful to get the chance to meet her and everything she's done for Canada women's team. And yeah, good luck in her future endeavors for whatever she does to do after that. And so they actually had a ceremony before the game also to honor her, which is actually part of the video segment I included in the match day experiences. So you can go check that out. And then after I waited, I believe it was like 45-minute lineup for that. So I got there pretty early because I was one of the last ones that she was able to see before she had to get ready for a ceremony. So I got very lucky there, I'll admit. But really happy that I was able to get a signature and a photo. But after that, I was able to, I walked around. There was a kid juggling, the ball in one of the events, so I took part in that, which was also in the video segment I included. So I juggled for a little bit. Obviously, the record there was like 1,190 juggles, which I'm not hitting that. You would be there all. I would be there all day. I don't know who I was. Somebody was able to do that in that short period of time, but kudos to them. I mean, all kudos. But I juggled there for a little bit just to get some touches. And then after that, I went over to the Oak Canada stand, which is, the official sponsor, the milk sponsor of Canada Soccer. I always see it on Canada's starting lineups. It's a sponsor, right? So you see it everywhere. And I ended up trying some of the oat milk, which I believe they put, it was like, I thought it was coffee, but it's not. It kind of, if they do use coffee grinds, it smelled like coffee, but I think it's maybe just oats. And so they use oats, and it was pretty tasty. It was pretty bitter, so that's why if you needed a sweetener, that they had sweeteners ready, and it was pretty good. I mean, mine was still bitter with the sweetener, but it was a good thing to taste. Good thing to taste. And then, but other than that, yeah, they had all kind of festivities. You can kick inflatable balls, you can get foam fingers. If you win prizes like that. All kind of pregame events and tailgate. So that was fun to enjoy. And then come games time, as you saw in the video clips, there's some ceremonial stuff pre the game. Matheson is honored, and as I said, we can't thank Diana Matheson enough for what she did. So good luck for her, and yeah, and that's pretty much the pregame. And now I guess before we talk about the game itself, I do want to mention that since I forgot to talk about or do a whole kind of separate video on Canada's 23 women roster, I believe, or all the women have been called in for the CONCACAF tournament, I'm going to do kind of what I did in the U.S. video last night and just do a little short rundown here, maybe talk a little bit about any names that stand out, and then from there we'll do the starting lineup and we'll talk about the game in live experience. So without further ado, here we go. So for the goalkeepers have been called up to go down to Mexico are Sabrina D'Angelo. Sorry, by the way, if I'm saying these names wrong. Like the next one, I believe it's Lesiane Pralou. I know I said that wrong, but sorry in advance. Kaylin Sheridan, which was the keeper, by the way. She played really well tonight. Kadesha Buchanan for your defenders. Alicia Chapman, Vanessa Giles. And remember, I believe I was saying Giles, and that was obviously wrong. So it's Giles, Ashley Lawrence, Jade Riviere, Bianca St. George's, I believe, or St. George's. I believe I'm saying that wrong again. Shalina Zadorsky. Those are your defenders. Your midfielders: Zoe Burns, Jessie Fleming, Julia Grosso, Quinn, Sophie Skimmett, Desiree Scott. And your forwards, Janine Becky, Jordan Heidema. We got a new one, Chloe Lacasse, which I think I said that wrong, sorry. Adriana Leon, Michelle Prince, Deanne Rose, and Christine Sinclair. And yeah, so that's pretty much your names. So we got, as I said in the U.S. video, we got a mix of old veterans and new rising stars on the rise. Hopefully this mix of old and new will make a good team, and they've got a couple good games that they're going to be going against and getting tested. So hopefully they can pull through down in Mexico. They're playing at altitude, which is never an easy thing to do. But hopefully it's something that they can get done and just qualify for both tournaments and, all important tournaments in the CONCACAF tournament. So we wish them the best. So any names stand out, as I say, just a mix of old and new. You'd love to see it. Part of the transitionary period that was still going on. But let's go to today's starting 11 for today's game. So in net we had, or not in net, or in net we have Sheridan, but your captain was Jessie Fleming. Then you have Buchanan, Zadorsky, Quinn, Riviere, Heidema, Lawrence, Scott, Becky, and Leon. So that's where you're starting 11 today for today's game. And there were no goals scored in, but I'll get to the stats where I talk about the game. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do the stats and I'll talk about the game. So, but the stat says 14 shots to 3. So Canada did have a lot of possession and opportunities. Unfortunately, they couldn't get them to capitalize, as 4 of the shots on target, while Korea didn't register a shot on target. 67% possession to 33% possession for Canada. 553 passes completed to 288 passes completed. 83% pass accuracy to 66% pass accuracy, 13 fouls to 14, no yellow cards or red cards, 2 offsides to 5, and 5 corners to 1 in this game. So it was a pretty quiet game, I guess you can say. I mean, when I was in the stadium, the fans, you can obviously tell, were getting a little bit restless. I mean, everybody was, there was a guy behind me saying, "Come on, score!" And at one point he just said, "I don't care who scores, just somebody make it interesting, right?" Which I was like, we still want Canada to win, but nonetheless, it is a friendly, so it isn't the end of the world. Win, loss, or tie, and tonight was obviously a draw, and it doesn't mean anything. Most importantly, it gives this team something to work on, or it identifies key areas that need to be worked on. So, from what I saw, I saw one thing. The defense did help for Canada. They did a good job. It was pretty stout, but mainly the midfield and attack for Canada. Then again, you're going against stout Korean defense and midfield, which credit to Korea. They played really well. They were really, really hard to break down, and they really, really frustrated the Canadian attack at times. Really made it hard for Canada to find something, despite even though they were being patient. So kudos to Korea for just digging in and just, kind of playing a semi-low block in a way. Maybe they did play a full low block, but they did kind of try to counter on the other hand when they had chances. But nonetheless, they did, make sure it was difficult for Canada to really get in there, really unlock them. So Canada couldn't pick the lock, unfortunately, but that's really the only area that I'm pretty sure me and a lot of other fans around me that were saying, we got to really pick, they were really trying to have a hard time picking up this or picking open this Korean defense. And as I said, kudos to them. They were stout tonight. The keeper was stout tonight as well. She had some good saves. And the last play of the game, the Canadians had a corner kick. It was headed in on frame. Everybody thought it was in. Everybody started celebrating, but we looked up at the board. I couldn't see from my angle, as I was obviously on the supporter section, so we were looking at that point way across the field. And at that point, the keeper had gobbled up the ball, or the defender had saved it off the line. Either way, Korea was corralling it, and nonetheless, it was secured. And right away, the ref blew the final whistle. So that opportunity was like probably the moment of the match. It was the closest moment of the match for anybody. As I said, in the first half, Canada had some opportunities too, but just not really. They just couldn't really find a way, especially when the keeper was out. But nonetheless, hopefully Canada can take this single game. I know that's another thing I kind of wish too, was Canada kind of played another game against Korea. Maybe it could have been in Toronto again. It could have been in Hamilton, but I do wish they played a second game. As like a final. This was their final game. As if like to give more chances to tune up and just really work on these opportunities and chances, right? So I do wish there was one more tune-up game rather than this one being the last, and we just go down to Mexico and just play. Which I know they'll do well. Now inside they'll be fine. But then again, I just do wish that there was a little more extra, one more extra game just to tune up in. But it is what it is. You make the best of what you have right in front of you, which is this one game. And I believe they did everything they could. And yeah, it was honestly, the game was pretty fascinating. Yes, the scoreline was 0-0, but being in the stadium, then again, you're always around people. And for me personally, I just, it feels good to be around people, especially how much I took that for granted during the pandemic. So 2 years hiatus of not being around anybody, and boom, you're back in the stadium surrounded by people, and I just forgot the energy it gives, even if the game is not really going your way or not really going the way that everybody wants it to go. The fans around me were still interactive. The chants were going. People stomping their feet, clapping their hands. The game was nonetheless. I'm still happy. I win, loss, or draw. Even if they would have lost, it's a friendly. And mainly, I was just there for the environment, warm weather, and thank goodness these thunderstorms or the storms that they said was supposed to happen today held off, and it was just bright and sunny. Actually, it was a perfect game. It was warm, not too hot, and I was in the shade anyway, so we were protected. But nonetheless, it was a fun game. As I said, I only saw one thing that Canada just needs to work on. That's just finishing or just trying to unlock opponents in the final third. Which, yes, it takes patience, it takes time, and it's just got to find. Maybe they can find some plays or find some drills that they can use to unlock. Maybe pinch, and maybe pull out or something like that, in and out. the defense and eventually, be patient, wait for there's an opening, and then capitalize. But as I said, it takes time, and now that they don't have a game, maybe they can take these extra days to kind of work on how to unlock the opponent's defense. So that's the only thing I saw. And after the game, they honored the players, and we wished them the best in Mexico. As I'll be obviously covering those games as well as the U.S. games. It's just both teams have big games, right? And both are favored to qualify for both tournaments, but you never know. Any team can beat anybody. You always bring your best game. So nonetheless, that's pretty much all for today's video. I mean, hope you guys like this kind of special video, this special in-game live experience that I kind of gave you guys. As I said, the video is, if it's not processing still, it's probably done, or the copyright thing is in there. So if it is, check it out. I think you guys might like it. Hopefully things are smooth out there and the high quality has been processed successfully. So nonetheless, that pretty much does it for this video. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Also tell your friends to hit the bell notification now, when any video is uploaded or posted. And tell your friends, thank you, Diana Matheson, and good luck to Canada and Mexico.